Mi gente, saludos, bienvenidos. Welcome to another episode of Hoy en Día TV. OMG, I am excited. Today's topic is collaboration ships. Colaborando con otros. It's bien importante, really important, because solo, I mean, we can get far solo, but together, when we bring others, we can accomplish more. And so, yeah, stay tuned. I mean, we're here. Shout out to the sponsors. We have so many great sponsors. You're going to see the sponsors throughout the show as well. But thank you all for viewing. I'm going to bring my first co host on. Manny, welcome to the stage.
Hola, bienvenido, bienvenido. ¿Qué es lo que hay? What's going on, people? How's it going? How y'all doing tonight?
Manny, ¿cómo está? ¿Está bien?
Bien, bien, sí. How was your week?
You know what? My week was good. It was busy,
Good,
but good.
good, good. Same here, busy. Like,
Yeah, right? You try to breathe, you're like, "Ugh." Also,
yes.
pollen, though, I don't know if where you're at, there's pollen, but over here, there's really bad
Oh, God.
pollen. Nasty
Please,
stuff. I'm
go
like, oh,
away. Go away. Like,
right.
I thought it was over at one point, and then it came back. I'm like, why? What are you doing?
Right. Go away now because I'm
Yes,
not breathing right.
please. I'm tired of washing my truck.
That part too, right? You spent like $40 just to wash your car.
Yes,
And the next day it's like dirty again. It's like, hold up.
crazy.
All right. Welcome, Tim, the next co-host.
Hey, how are you?
What's going on, brother? What's going on?
Man, staying productive, being busy. Hey, Yessie,
What up? ¿Qué pasa, Tim?
I see you moving and grooving and shaking and baking all the time, doing your thing.
Ooh, I'm trying. It's tough, but
Yes.
But you know what?
What?
When we're operating in our purpose, right?
Mhm.
Scientists have discovered that when a bird is in flight in its gift, it gains energy.
That's awesome.
So that's
Right.
what we do, right, Manny? Good God, man! I don't even know how you do all this. Woo.
Hey, look, I've been
But
busy,
you got to share that
man.
gift, though, right? You got to
Yeah.
share it.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm definitely doing that.
Absolutely.
Yes,
I mean, I appreciate you both sharing your gift with Hoy en Dia with me and
I
leaving
appreciate
the
it.
platform.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
You're
Because
welcome.
the goal is to positively motivate one viewer
Right.
at a time.
One
Yeah.
view at a
Our
time.
goal here is to help you see things differently or think differently, like in a good way, right? Because we
Right.
all have different frames of mind, shapes of thinking, et cetera, et
Mhm.
cetera. And so when all of us come together, think differently, we accept each other a lot better. And we
Exactly.
learn to, like Tim mentioned last week, agree to disagree.
Right.
Yeah. And some minds are still being formed. I just went to eat earlier today,
Mhm.
and there was a young lady working in the restaurant, and I said, "Are you in school?" And she said, "Yes." And she's a senior in high school. I said, "So, what is the next step for you? What are your plans?" And you know what she said?
What you say?
"I don't know."
Mm.
That's a tragedy waiting to
Most
happen.
kids
That's
don't.
not the first time that's happened.
Right.
So what that tells us is that our younger generations are not being guided. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
She says, "I don't know." She's a senior.
Mm-hmm.
She can get dragged off into an alley or exit ramp behind
Mm-hmm.
Right.
because she
Right.
doesn't know. She doesn't have the focus.
Right.
And so with that in mind, Tim, and your experience, what you've shared, it makes me wonder too, because a lot of the influences we see on TV, on media, music, especially because our special guest today, which I'm excited about, focus on music.
Mm-hmm.
But what's out there in the mainstream is so toxic that I feel that's a
Ah,
main culprit as to why these kids nowadays are so confused and lost
Right.
because they're not getting nothing from what they're hearing.
Nothing.
and here's the thing, Yessie. Probably her parents.
Mhm.
I'm probably older than her parents. A person can't transmit something they don't have,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Oh.
And so her parents can't give her something that they don't have. So this show is, to your point, it's cultivating mindsets, but also helping certain mindsets build a foundation
Right.
so that they can advance in their life. So
Right.
it's a win-win for everybody.
Absolutely.
Yep.
Absolutely. And you make a good point too, because I remember Manny and I talked about that a couple of episodes ago, the hamster wheel effect. Remember that one, Manny?
Yeah.
Yes,
It's
I
like
remember that.
what you just mentioned. It's like the parents obviously they didn't get whatever they needed enough to sustain to be able to educate their future generation, and now they have a child, but they can
Mm-hmm.
only go so far because they didn't know what they know today back then.
That's right.
Right. And some families instill a type of fear into their children because they're scared of taking that step and doing something that they love or they want to do or something better than what they're doing. So that fear just gets generationally pushed into
Wow.
the youth, and they gain that fear and they don't know and they don't have anybody to help them get out of that fear, or they don't have the gall to, do it themselves. So they get
Hey,
stuck, you know.
can you imagine how frustrating it is for a young person in today's society who has maybe discovered a gift that they have, but yet not have the support? How
Hmm.
frustrating is that? I know I can do this, but there's nobody to help me. There's nobody to guide me. So
Right.
guess what? Now I'm feeling a lot of pain,
Right.
Mhm.
right? I'm frustrated. Guess what I'm going to do with the pain?
What are you gonna do?
Internalize.
Medi- medicate it,
Hmm. And
medicate it.
internalize. They keep it
Pills,
inside, right?
drugs,
Hmm.
gambling, sex, whatever I need to do to not have to feel what I'm feeling.
Hmm.
Wow.
Right.
Wow. 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 Wow.
Sponsored by
That's deep. That's deep, and it's true. It's a sad reality that our people, regardless of color, gender, race, face.
Yeah, it
Right.
doesn't discriminate. Absolutely not.
It definitely doesn't.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. It doesn't
For
at all.
everybody. Right.
Well, keeping that in mind, and
Right.
and and just bringing everything together, and just talking about the three of us here and how we collaborate. We have a awesome, unique group as well that they collaborate in their music, La
Mm.
Villa Project, and they have a really cool, interesting story, and I'm really excited to bring them on. Um, but just looking and listening to them before we went on and talking to us now, it gives me the warm and fuzzies to see people collaborate, the
There goes that
collaboration
word
ship
again.
segment. You know what I'm saying? Like
There
we're
goes
coming
that
together.
word again. The warm and fuzzies.
Yes. So with that being said, let's welcome to the stage La Villa Project.
Yeah.
Woohoo!
What's up?
Hey,
What's up,
Yeah,
fellas?
welcome to the
What's going
show.
on?
Yeah, 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 yeah.
Yes,
What's
sir.
happening?
Venga!
over here all
Bienvenido.
fuzzy.
Whoever wants to
What's
start
going
first,
on?
please introduce yourselves.
I'm Tony Red,
I'm T. Givens.
and we are the Villa Project. We missing our other guy, Big Marcus. He couldn't be here, unfortunately, but we're gonna hold it down today.
That's what's up. That's what's
Welcome
up.
to the show. Welcome to the
Thank
show.
you. Thank you.
Yes. So you
So
all
we,
have a unique story that you shared with us behind the scenes before we went live, and so I definitely want the world to know that story. So if you can please share, that way the world can know who La Villa Project is.
Okay. I guess I'll start first with because as far as me and Marcus Matrix, we already knew each other as teenagers. He has been doing music for a minute. He was signed to Akon on his writing team at one point. Uh, at that point, me and him, we hadn't collaborated on any music yet. I think like years later, we did like one or two songs, and then time passed, and I just started doing some solo things. Then at that point, that's when I started giving my music to certain DJs, and then I'll let Tony take over as to how me and him met because it'll tie in.
right.
Okay, yeah. So I was a co-host on a podcast called Doja Told You.
Okay.
And it's basically local music was being played all the time. I had been doing my solo thing for a long time. I had been transitioning into trying to do other things just to get my foot in the door to see where it was going to take me. And I came across his music being played on the show.
Okay.
It was like music to my ears, really, literally.
Yeah.
'Cause the style that he has is a style that I was looking for to collab with. Big
Mhm.
Marcus Matrix. He came like a month or two later through the same way. And it was like through this show, I had figured out. Okay, let me grab some of these talented guys. We all come together. I give my input, they give their input, and they jam like that.
Wow.
That sounds
That is
awesome.
awesome.
That definitely sounds awesome.
I'm just curious to know because every unique story starts from the beginning for a reason. And so, at what point in your life, and I'm sure this was early on, did you realize you have a passion for music? And how did that come about? Was it a relative? Did you see it on TV? Did you hear music that was like, wow, I want to do this? What sparked that interest to start your career profession in music?
Michael Jackson.
Okay.
Ever since I was a little kid,
All right.
sitting at the table, my mom, she make me watch it, and it was like I can do that. I knew I couldn't at the time, you know, but you know, as a little kid, you say I can do that. It's so exciting, you know. Look how the people respond to, you know, what he's doing, even at a young age. So as I got older, it was just writing stories. I won contests for just writing essays and things like that. And as it progressed, it turned into music. Eventually, once I got outside more, you know, running around being knucklehead in the neighborhood.
Mhm.
And that's where it started for me.
That's
Been a long
awesome.
time.
That is awesome.
Yeah,
Yeah.
for me, I mean, I was doing talent shows, won a couple of talent shows. I was singing in church, and you know, then I started writing. And one thing about me, when I hear people talking, like with us talking right now, right? Anytime someone says something, if you say something that's like a lyric in a song, that song plays in my head, and it's so
Man,
hard
I'm the same way.
singing the song. And it's been like that, I'm telling you, since I can remember. So I just knew music was in my bones, like from
Wow.
early on. You know what I mean? So I knew once I started writing, I could tell that was going to be something that I have a passion for.
Sponsored by
That's cool,
That's
man.
awesome.
That's cool.
You know, I think that that is one of the things that's kind of missing in our younger generations is, you know, we see the devastation is because they haven't discovered their gift. That's what I coach, right? I didn't discover my gift until I was 45 years old because I could do a lot of different things, right?
Mhm.
But when I had the revelation, and I shared a story about how, you know, I had gone through some traumatic experiences in my life, went through a divorce, and I made it through, and it was kind of like, okay, you know, Lord, what am I going to do now? And I had this revelation of, you like sharing information. Why don't you be a speaker? And I was like, yeah, I can be a speaker. And so at the same time, I had an epiphany. And like I share with everybody and everything comes to this planet with a gift trapped inside of it. A bird has a gift of flight, a fish has a gift of swim. I remember being back in the first and second and third grade, and I stayed in trouble all the time. Always being sent to the chalkboard to put my nose in a circle, my hands behind my back. Of course, they don't do that now. Guess what? I stayed in
Like,
trouble.
what the hell?
I had the gift when I got here.
Yeah.
And like we were talking a little earlier at the beginning of the show, Yessie, my parents didn't recognize it.
No.
And so to hear you guys, right, talk about how you discovered your gift and how you have stuck with it. That's the perseverance of, you know, staying with your gift, man. And so I was a Michael Jordan fan. So when Michael came in the league, he was jump man jump. I said, I'm gonna be talk man talk.
I like that. I like that. And in light of discovering gift, even with me, Tim, and crew, I discovered my gift early as well. When I had the opportunity to, at age 11, to be part of a public broadcasting station. It was similar to like a Sesame Street kind of Barney / episode. And I enjoyed it. And it was acting and it was fun. And then in high school, I had the opportunity to come across Strive Media Institute, where it was a nonprofit organization that helped at-risk youth in the Milwaukee, Wisconsin area. I was able to become acquainted with broadcast journalism, filmography, editing, all of that stuff, news reporting, providing information. And so it took me to come across that opportunity to understand that that was my gift as well. So similar to you both, you know, you all three sharing, I was blessed to have the opportunity to understand my gift at an early age as well.
Yeah.
And you're still serving it.
Yeah.
That's beautiful.
Definitely.
Right.
I think
That's right.
everybody had that epiphany when they were younger.
Mhm.
Um, I was always an introvert. I always liked to be alone, but I read books. So the way my mind works, my imagination is crazy, and I'll take those words and build, that world in my head. And depending on what type of book it was and how interesting the universe or whatever world I made in my head, I would, just put the book down and be in that world in my mind, away
Mhm.
from, all the other people. Then eventually I just started writing my own, to make it more interesting for me, because I get bored in those other worlds and I'm like, I could do something better. So then I started writing. But then, it took me, like you, Tim, 40 something years to actually put the book out. So
Yeah.
Sponsored by
Just to piggyback on what you just said, we got something in common, man. Like when you said you're an introvert, I can relate to that. As a matter of fact, the song that he heard that
mhm.
that brought us together, that song called Loner Baby.
Okay.
Wow.
If you pull that song up, that video, I'm talking everything you were saying. I'm like, that's what the whole song is about.
Okay.
Wow.
Me being
You know,
alone and all that when I was like younger and all that. So
All right.
yeah, I can relate, bro.
Yeah, that's how we sure related on that song. I
Yeah.
heard it, I was like, that is describing me.
Yeah. Well,
you know, Manny, I didn't start out that way because I wanted to be like my uncle, right?
mhm.
Okay.
My uncle was my idol. And, my dad worked on the farm and he was dirty and nasty. And my uncle was, he had been in the Marines. He lived in New York. He had bright, shiny cars. He had pretty women. He had a lot of money in his pocket. And I wanted that, right?
It was trying
And I didn't understand all that came along with that
right. Right.
because there was some other stuff that I wasn't exposed to that came along with that. And I was 30 years old before I realized, wait a minute, this is not going to take me, this lifestyle is not going to take me nowhere. But
Right.
by that time, I was already caught up in the grips. It
Mhm.
took me another 10 years to start come out. And see, that's why I commend you guys for, sticking with your gift and not just making music, but making music that matters. The OJ said, there's a message in the music, man.
Right.
There's a mess, good or bad.
Right.
Mhm.
There's a message in the music.
Right.
Yeah, for the same.
So,
Like,
gentlemen from the La Villa Project, in relation to what exists out today, where most people that listen to the music, they're familiar with the sounds. What makes your music different? How would you describe your music
That's
to a
great.
person
Great
coming up to
question.
you?
It's life music.
Okay.
It's not detrimental. It's not purposely trying to drive the younger generation to do things that's going to set them up for failure. It's based off real experiences, the things that we talked about with each other, because it's not just like a music group. Like I've become friends with them.
Yeah.
So if I'm your friend, I'm your friend. I want to know about you as a person, the things you go through, not just what seems good out there. We're going to make that, we're going to do that. No, we're not doing that. We're doing what relates to people that happen every day,
right.
whether that's relationships, whether that's just fear, having anxiety,
Mhm.
um, political situations that's going on, whatever it is that's important, we're going to talk about it. We're not going to shy away from it because we might get some people that might not like it. No, we don't care about smaller groups. We care about the overall, and everybody is human. We all go through the same thing. So I think that's enough of a story you could tell right there just from a human experience instead of some of these agendas that's being passed.
Right.
And we say a lot of things a lot of men are afraid to say.
That too.
We put our life in our music.
Mhm.
And when we talk about women, we say things men are afraid to say, because everybody's so hard these days. They this, that, and the third. Like we say things about our heart when it comes to a woman. We're not afraid to say those type of things. So we put that out there so people can see, look, it's all right to just be you in your music.
It's genius and vulnerability.
Mhm.
you know, some people get so robotic and try to follow these trends. I never grew up like that. I always wanted to set the trend.
Mm-hmm.
And if I got to go against the grain to set the trend, I'm all with it, you know.
Right.
Sponsored by Collective Wear.
And that's the kind of music that lasts. You know, my favorite artist of all time is Frankie Beverly and Mays, and Frankie's getting ready to retire now. But you know, I've seen Frankie 15 times in concert. Frankie didn't put out an album for 20 years and was still selling out stadiums, right? Because his music was so connected to everyday life.
Yep.
Anybody hears joy and pain right now?
Yeah.
They're gonna groove to it. Why? Because I don't care where you from, male, female, black, white. If you are human and you come to this planet, you will experience some joy and pain. Period.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Most definitely.
What would you say helps you continue to spark that creativity to make sure that the next song that you write is always different from the last one and also motivates that person listening to it?
I'm a Gemini, so I'm different every day.
Oh,
Glad you acknowledge that. That's good.
shout out to the Geminis because my birthday's June 4th. So,
my emotions is one day I might be super passionate about something, the next day I might be super passionate about that. Either way, I'm passionate about it, and you're gonna hear it. Right?
Yeah.
Right.
I'm a Leo, so I'm passionate about everything. Right. So I don't want to say it's easy for us, but like we put everything in our music. When we get in that studio, I don't even want to say it's a competition, but iron sharpens iron. Like we keep each other sharp. We want to make sure when we do a song, it's like we'll love that song. And then we're trying to top that song. Yeah. Like on the next song, we're almost like, forget that song we just did. That song is nothing. Like we just came with something better. Like so we always trying to top each song we do. We're never comfortable, I guess you could say. We never get comfortable.
Right. That's a good thing. That's definitely good. So we forgot to actually tell the audience where you're from. Y'all are from Jacksonville, Florida, correct?
Florida.
Floridians in the house.
You have to say that. You have to say that when you're from Duval.
Yeah.
But with that, Duval has a real strong history. And before we got on stage, you kind of gave us an insight on what the La Villa Project means and like the history of it. So enlighten our viewers, if you don't mind.
Okay. Shout out to Baltimore, Maryland as well. I'm originally from Baltimore, Maryland.
Be more in the house.
I was born there. I was raised here. But no, just like I was telling you guys before, La Villa was a small area in Jacksonville. They actually have a school named after it, a couple streets. But this was a circuit for the Harlem Renaissance, the same Harlem Renaissance that all the major musicians came from, blues musicians and things like that. They followed the circuit through from Harlem, Baltimore, North Carolina, Georgia, and eventually where they came here to La Villa in Sugar Hill. So this was a prominently Black and Hispanic area at one time until, gentrification and all that type of stuff. So all those same artists from the Harlem Renaissance, they spent time here as well. That's why I just decided to name the group after that whole situation, just to pay homage back to them.
That's what's up. Because a lot of these new artists these days, man, it's just they put out something. I call it bubblegum rap. Like you can't really understand what they're talking about, and most of the time they're not really talking about anything. No. They're talking about stuff that they don't really have, and they're taking pictures or videos of just a shot of somewhere that they're never. You know what I'm saying? Like it's fake. A lot of it is fake.
They put words together that rhyme.
Right.
That's it. That's
and
it.
Like just to hear the La Villa Project, and I mean I understand that you added the project to the name, but it has history, and just that name like has power to it. You know what I'm saying? Because you're trying to build something off of what already existed. you
Yes.
know, and trying to bring it back so that way people will understand and know, you know,
That's
there's
right, man.
definitely a history here in Jacksonville, man.
That's
Big
powerful.
history.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's
And that
awesome.
passion, you
Yeah.
know, that passion that you talked about, you know, when I describe leadership, you know, we have a leadership problem in our society today. But you guys are leaders. You know, everybody is a leader in their
Yep.
area of functioning. And I won't get into all of that. But when you talk about passion, see, leadership starts with a purpose. Boom, Lavella Project. That purpose creates a vision. Okay, I can see my purpose in pictures, right? That vision excited y'all. Y'all said, "Ooh, we can do this thing," and that's called passion. And
Mhm.
that passion creates influence. People
Right.
people are attracted to that passion, and when you have influence, now you have leadership.
All
I
right.
like
That's it.
that. That's a good way of explaining that.
All
And
right.
so,
That's leadership.
keeping that in mind, Lavilla Project, how do you all, from a collaboration standpoint, and keeping you both as leaders, or the three of you, because I know you're missing a member of your team, how do you respectfully disagree from a collaboration standpoint? And I say that because, again, we're trying to positively enlighten the viewers, right? Helping them think differently. And so, how do you all motivate each other and positively agree to disagree respectfully?
Be,
I
be
mean,
honest.
yeah, that's I think that's first and foremost. Be honest, because nobody wants it. Like, I don't want yes men on my team. You know what I mean? Like, if you do a verse and it's like, I've done a hook. A lot of people know I do good hooks, right? But I've done a hook before, and I came out and they were like, "Hey, that second part of the hook, that's not it. It doesn't sound right." Now, I could have got mad and did this and did that, but I listened to it and I was like, yeah, they're right. So I changed it. You know what I mean? And the song came out a lot better. Now, there are some times where you might say this and then I might say this and we don't see completely eye to eye. But as long as we respect each other,
Hello.
it's not going to be a problem.
They gotta get used to me, because I'm gonna say what I need to say. Wrong or right. I'll come back later if I'm wrong and say, yeah, I was wrong about that.
And
But I have to say it.
And one thing, like with him, just like he said, today he's gonna say this like this, and then tomorrow he's gonna say it. I'm like, wait, bro, you left yesterday. All right,
I had to think about it.
I got it.
It's just patience.
And it's like me, I'm chill, right? But people realize about me, I'm chill. But then when it's something I'm really passionate about, I'm real strong on what I believe and what I want. You know what I mean? So we just, we're still learning each other, but we learn each other pretty good. Like, so we don't have those type of issues.
That's awesome.
It sounds like you guys have taken the ego out.
Right.
Absolutely. That's
right.
To come together like we did.
Yeah, you have to.
We have to take the ego out, because all of us are dope in our own right. You know, it's just the fact that we've done so much separately. Okay, let's bring that knowledge together and push forward. And sometimes we don't agree, and it's probably usually me saying something. Once I'm done cussing and you know, it all comes together, because, like I said, it's respect. I got respect for them. I trust them. You know, it's just, I have to get my point across, and it's got to be heard. If you don't like it, just give me a second. I'll be the thought about it again, and if I'm wrong, I'll come back and say I'm wrong. You just got to give each other a little grace.
And you know, Tony, you said something that was key that I really resonate with our show. You know, Yessie and Manny and I, we communicate about the show offline, and it's like, you know, when we're sending messages, it's like, "Good morning, family." Like, they have become my family. You know what I mean? And like, you know, I just lost my brother, and they were there, man, to support me and help me through, and you know, the words of encouragement. You know, it's priceless. I can't even hardly describe it sometimes, how that feels to have that kind of connection. So of course, whatever you create, it's going to be the bomb.
I just feel like when we came together and made the decision to do this, you know, show, we came with respect and communication. And to be good at what we're doing, we have to become family. Even though I've never met Tim at all. Like the only time I see him is on virtual. I've never met Yessie either. Like, but we still respect each other. We respect each other as the people that we are and the things that we do separately, and we just come together and create a good show.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
So viewers, food for thought nugget, as we can see here: respect, acceptance, because La Villa Project, they admitted that, hey, we're human, things happen, give us grace, right? But accept the person for who they are. Don't try to change
Honesty.
Right.
honesty, right. And overall, just work together and give the person grace. Things are going to happen. We're human, we're not perfect, but try not to create a conflict over something that you can just and say, hey, let me take a breather, let me step away, whatever you have to do, but just try to be cool and chill about it. It's going to work out.
Yeah.
Right.
Don't forget trust, because sometimes I've had to say, you know what, I don't see it, but I'm gonna trust what you're saying right now.
Right.
I mean, like your experience, and I've
Mhm.
told him this. I'm like, I don't see it, but I know you have experience in this. I'm gonna trust.
Well, that's a championship mindset. I remember you've heard the story about Michael, and I'm full of Michael stories, but when he was getting ready to bring Dennis Rodman, the whole team said, "Don't bring that dude here. That dude is crazy." Michael went to Phil and said, "Can you coach this guy?" And Phil said, "Yeah, I can coach him." Michael said, "Bring him." He trusted him, right? Phil trusted Michael. Michael trusted Phil, and they got 3 more rings.
Yeah. You're right.
Trust.
You trust. You guys, I'm gonna just speak this into the universe, and I'm just gonna speak this, that you guys are gonna get some recognition from some people in some high places, man. Because I'm gonna promote your stuff on my stuff, because we need it, man. My passion, life doesn't owe me nothing. Nothing.
Right.
My life today is about, as Yessie said, putting the show together, about helping other people so that they can make decisions to live a higher quality of life.
Mhm.
That's it. And I don't know if you know the story about Frankie. Do you know how Frankie got started?
No, I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay, so Frankie is out of Philly, and he had a group called Raw Soul, and they cut a couple albums, and it didn't get any traction. So they decided to go. He and his buddy, just like you two, he and his buddy went out to California, and they were playing in some nightclubs. And one night, Marvin Gaye's sister came into the nightclub, and she went back home, and she told Marvin, she said, "Marvin, you gotta come hear this guy."
Mm-hmm.
Marvin came back, and the rest is history.
Wow.
That one person, man. It's that one person.
That's right, man. That one. You were saying that before the show.
Yeah.
6 degrees of separation is real.
Yep. Most
That
definitely.
is awesome. And so, when somebody listens to your music, well, let me ask this first. Out of all the songs that you've written, which one do you feel you really gave it your heart and soul, and you really want the listener to really get that feeling? And I'm sure you're probably going to say all of them, but I'm going to challenge you to think about one.
State of Emergency.
Yeah.
Okay.
State of Emergency.
Tell us about State of Emergency.
It's titled
It's
titled SOE. If you look it up, but it just this song is actually just me and T on there. T had already had it, and he was just like, "I just need you to say this part the way you say it, and write a verse." And I said, "Okay, I got you." And we wrote it separately. But by the time we got to the studio and recorded it, we were so on point with each other. It was amazing. But it's just basically saying it's a state of emergency for all the things that's going on in the news.
Yeah,
it is. It's time to put down some of the foolishness that we're pushing on each other. Because it's one thing for it to come from the top, But when it gets down to your own people and we spread it out on each other,
Right.
it just makes it even worse. You know, we got to start blocking some of these detrimental messages that's coming through.
And division.
Yes,
Right.
and you know, and we're just on the same thing. So
Yeah.
I remember when Yessie was telling me about her vision, and she said, you know, would I have any interest? And I thought we both said, wow, you know, look at the demographics we would be able to touch and reach just by joining our
Mhm.
talents and abilities and resources together. She's sharp now. Don't
Mhm.
let the looks fool you. She's sharp. Right. And the vision that I saw when she explained it to me, it's same with you guys. You know, I can hear that your mindset is to do something positive. A lot of people have given up, man. A lot of people have said this world is trash. I just can't wait to get out of here. It ain't gonna ever change.
Right.
But not you, right? Not Yessie, not Manny.
Not you, Tim.
conformity is kind of like laziness to me.
That's right.
If I know
100%.
it's wrong, I've done things in my life. You know, I have always been as positive as I am now. And
Yeah, me too.
I think back to a lot of times that and then it wasn't for the right reasons. You know, I think as I got older, I discovered who I was as a person. And once I discovered that for myself, it was like, that's not what I want. Those same things that I'm doing have affected my family going back for generations. How can I be the one to change that?
Yeah.
And once I got that in my head, it was like I put all that type of stuff down. Even if I lose some cool points, who cares? I'm making cool to do what's right.
Right. Right.
Clear conscience. You can sleep good at night.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
awesome. Absolutely. Tim, before we logged on and started our show, you shared a story about a young woman that you encountered recently, and I'm asking you to share that, please, because I have a question for the Villa Project in correlation to that.
Yes, and you are, boy, I'm telling you, you're a great host.
Yeah.
So
It's
what I was saying was,
just looks. It's not just looks. She got the brains too.
oh yeah, sharp. I love the questions. The questions are really on point. So I was sharing that I was at a restaurant earlier today, and there was a young lady working in the restaurant, and I said, "Are you in school?" And I just had this happen about a month ago in the grocery store. Same thing, exact same scenario. I said, "Are you in school?" She said, "Yes." I said, "Well, where are you in school at?" And she told me, and I said, "Okay, so you know, what are you in school?" She says, "I'm a senior." I said, "High school." I said, "So what are your plans afterwards?" And you know what she said, man? "I don't know." And that's a tragedy. That's a tragedy waiting to happen because she doesn't have a purpose that created a vision. Now, you know, and I'm not a religious guy, but the Bible says where there's no vision, people perish. And that word perish means they throw off restraints. She can be dragged off into an alley or exit ramp behind a lust or craving or something because she hasn't been guided.
Right.
So that was the story. And it's like, man, you know, we've gotta do some more positive stuff like what you guys are doing.
Right.
Absolutely. And thanks for sharing that story. And so, keeping that in mind, keeping that example in mind, what I wanted to ask you is, to those individuals, that young viewer that's going to watch this episode, what words of encouragement or motivation would you say if they were dealing with that same situation that Tim just described? How would you encourage them to keep pushing, to keep motivating, where to look, how to start, etc.?
I would say this: if you have any negative influences, remove them.
Hello. Ding ding ding. We need the bell. Ding 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 ding.
You know what's right and wrong. All of us do. No matter how many people choose to look past, you know, the right thing. You know the difference between right and wrong because it's all instilled in us since we've been born. You know, you have a feeling that's inside. If so, you see somebody getting robbed, you know it's wrong, right? That's just anybody. You know not to take from somebody. You know not to harm nobody. So if you are in the presence of anybody that's doing something that's opposite of what you feel as a person, you need to remove them from your life, because that might be a drag on you actually becoming what you're supposed to be.
Yeah,
I
absolutely.
would say, I think we touched on it a little bit earlier. In order to find your purpose, you can't be afraid to be yourself.
Yeah.
And, you know, sometimes you start to learn things about yourself, and you might think a lot of people may not gravitate towards you and things like that, but you have to be genuine and authentic with you. That is the only way to find your true purpose, is to make sure that you are honest with who you are and be okay with being you. Some people may not like it. That's fine. That's not your tribe. But there are going to be people who are going to gravitate towards you. They're going to rock with you. Like, that's one thing I've definitely learned in my life. So that's one good advice I would give.
Yeah.
Thank you for sharing that. Manny and Tim, I'm curious to hear your words. If a person like that were to approach you, how would you respond?
Go ahead,
Tim.
man. You're older than me.
Who told you that? Who told you that? So, my go ahead, Manny.
I wasn't talking.
Oh, I think my approach is a little similar. You know, I deal with people who are dealing with substance abuse, and a lot of, you know, people getting into recovery. And like T said, man, you know, what do I look like telling somebody smoking dope is bad? You already know that, right? So what I do is I help people. Let's go back, like you said, and let's find out what your gift is. See, we were all given that gift, right? And the process is to discover the gift, train the gift, and then serve the gift to the world. And what happens is, when we help a person discover their gift, that will give us a sense of significance. It's a source of value. Like, and I've shared this with Jesse before, is you handle a ring out of a Cracker Jack box different than a 10-carat diamond ring. They're both rings. Why do you handle them differently? Because of the value. So if I could help people understand that your value is within, not outside of you, your value is, and you discover that gift. Now, because I know why I'm here. If you ask people right now, 10 people, who are you? They're going to stop, because they don't know who they are. I deal with people every day who have invested time and money for training, and they're miserable. I talked to a guy 2 months ago. He has a 4-year degree. He's making $92,000 a year. He's managing a laundry department in a healthcare institution. He's miserable. You know why? Because he loves working with computers. He don't want to do that. Birds don't like swimming underwater. That's not where they can use their gift. They like being in the air. So that's my approach, is to help people. Let's find out what you're naturally gifted at. What do you like to do that you would do for no money? How would you like to see things different in humanity? That kind of stuff.
That's awesome.
Also, don't be scared to be great.
Bingo. Yeah.
Right.
Sometimes you've been suppressed since children. You know, you got the little child that likes to be loud and scream a lot, and then, you know, sometimes even parents would be like, "Hey, be quiet with all that noise." But what if that child is training himself to be able to speak and sing? You know, if you suppress them early, that cuts that off a lot. You know, so
channel that gift.
Yeah.
Train it.
You're seeing it. I like that. That's a good approach.
Batter up, Manny.
The way the society is right now, it's difficult for the youth to actually be able to find or feel like they have a purpose in this world. When I moved to Duval County 4 years ago, like, I went downtown for the first time, and I was in shock. There's so many homeless people here, and it's like they just sleep on the streets. And I felt bad for them. because they didn't have any guidance or they didn't have any support system. So sometimes your support system comes from people that aren't blood to you, like
Mhm.
the people in your home. They have their own agendas, and even if you're still a child, your parents probably feel like, they didn't live their teenage years or they want to go out and party and stuff. So they're going to leave you at home or with babysitters and not really mold you like you're supposed to be molded. So, but then at the same time, the way society is now, if you go find somebody outside of the house, either they're, bad for you, or they're going to look at you, the person that's trying to help you and be that support system, as like you're doing something with that child that's not right. You know what I'm saying? So it's like that's why a lot of children don't go to other people for help, because of the way society sees things.
Mm.
Yeah.
Um, but I just feel like if you find that person, um, gravitate towards them and let them help you become that person, because you just need one person to help you see that goal, get out of that box that you're in and what society deems as appropriate for you. And, like, T and Tony was saying, what your purpose is. You have that gut feeling. You know what I'm saying? Just go and follow your dreams or follow that gut feeling that you have, you know? So,
Yeah.
That's
what
I,
awesome.
about
li-
you,
I
Mia?
like what you
Go ahead.
said when you were saying that you when you first moved here and you went downtown and you seen all those homeless people.
Man, that's
Before we
crazy.
get on, I like to say, us as the Villa Project, even before the Villa Project, I had an initiative called Pull Up for the Homeless, where I would
Wow.
accept anything that can be of use to people down there: work pants, shoes, hygienics, canned goods, all those type of things. We just did a blanket drive uh, when it was colder, a little colder, and gave blankets away to those same people. Uh, those same people are under fire here in Jacksonville. Maybe Florida, period. I have to look more into it. But they just signed a bill that homeless people cannot sleep in a public property anymore.
And it's like,
So I just want to ask y'all a question. If they're homeless and they own no property and it's against the law to sleep in public, they can be taken and detained and locked up. Where are they supposed to go?
Right. Right. And like all the shelters are booked. Like there's at least 4 shelters downtown. And like
Yeah.
I just took some clothes that didn't fit me to the shelter and it was booked. Like there was people outside waiting for food and just,
It's
it's
horrible.
crazy. It's
It's horrible.
crazy, man. It's really crazy.
Yeah, it's really unfortunate to live in a society that's supposed to be, the Western world, supposed to be one of the richest nations on the planet, and yet, we see this kind of devastation.
Right.
And back to what you were saying, Manny, and T said this, he kind of alluded to it as well. Environments matter.
Right.
Yes, he even said that. You can take a mango seed that has the gift of a mango tree trapped on the inside of it. Every mango seed. I mean, you tell me, do you think there's a mango tree trapped on the inside of a mango seed?
Of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you could take that mango seed and sit it on your kitchen counter, and it'll sit there for 30 years, and the
Never
tree will remain trapped, the gift of the seed inside of that seed. It won't come out
Right.
because it's in the wrong environment. There's some people down there, in the homeless community.
Now,
There's,
genius.
there's some gifts down there that are in the wrong environment. That you take that same seed, drop it in some soil, give it some moisture and sunlight, boom, here comes the gift that was trapped inside the seed, which is the tree. And that's what the collaborations. We never know
Right.
who is going to listen to the message and the light bulb is going to go off
Right.
in your music. Some of the stuff they're putting out there, how could somebody be successful with it? But you know what? They have a payday coming too. Y'all hear what's going on in the news with these people, these entertainers, and some of the nasty stuff they doing.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Wicked, man, wicked.
Yeah.
But their day is
So
coming. They
we
have
are
hurt a lot of people.
we are in direct combative. We are at a direct line of that. Our project that we're working on now is the La Villa project, While the Devil's Away.
Wow.
That is in direct correlation of what's going on, what you're talking about right now.
Right.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
That's
That's
awesome.
what we're combating that. We're combating that. We all hit
When
the
is that
store.
Right.
Say
It's
again?
crazy, man.
When is that going to release?
It's going to be this summer. We're trying to actually go to Vegas for our next video shoot. That's going to be our actual single that we're going to release, but it's June or July time frame. We're not trying. We still need like 4 more songs to complete it.
Yeah, I'll definitely keep y'all posted. I'll
Yeah.
definitely. It's like
Absolutely.
ever since I met Tony first, and I was in, his first the video, and like, how sometimes you meet, artists and they're not humble. Like they feel like you owe them something, you know what I'm saying? And like when I met Tony, it was like, he was like, yo, what's up? Gave me dap, was cool. He was humble, like he was just a regular person. You know what I'm saying? And ever since I've been on this journey, man, like a lot of people, normal people, hold celebrities to a high standard, but at the end of the day, we're all just people. We're all the same. They still got to go to Walmart to buy their food or Sam's Club. They still got to put gas at the same gas stations we go to. They go to the same hospitals. They're just people. They just have a talent,
Right.
And a lot of celebrities take that and it goes to their head, you know what I'm saying? And just the fact that y'all are so humble, and that's why, I rock with y'all so much. And I'm always posting whenever y'all post something new about y'all, music, I post it because I love the energy that y'all have.
We appreciate the
Appreciate
support.
that,
That
bro.
video that Manny is talking about was actually the first of its kind in Jacksonville.
Oh yeah, tell them about that.
So it was approved by the city of Jacksonville and Mayor Donna Deegan. I was the first artist to be able to shut down the entire block downtown
Wow.
and shoot
Right.
a
Amazing.
actual production. So
Right.
it's easy to be humble when you're being blessed like that.
Right.
And I've been through so much stuff in my life.
Yeah.
I don't think I know how to be a snob.
Yeah.
And wasn't it a Saturday night that y'all did it? It was Saturday night, wasn't it? A Saturday night, and it was downtown. There's bars on each side of where we were recording, so that's a busy street, and they still got the, what I'm saying, the powers to be were like, yeah, we're gonna shut your block down for you. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah.
Awesome.
There's one thing, only one thing that will protect our gift.
Yourself.
Right.
Yourself.
Okay.
You guys said it earlier. You said it. You named them, Yessie. Principles,
Right.
honesty, hope,
Mhm.
faith,
Right.
courage, integrity, willingness, humility, discipline, forgiveness, acceptance, awareness, and gratitude. Those are just 12 principles. Because see, we've seen people who discover their gift, train their gift, serve it at a high level, but because they don't have the principles to protect their potential, it destroys them. Whitney Houston.
Right.
Man,
Yeah.
she didn't have the principles to protect her gift. Marvin Gaye. And we've seen it over and over, right? And so where you guys, T, where you come from, it won't go down like that with you because you've already seen that. You already know you're not going to be tempted with that. Plus, like you guys said, you operate with some principles: honesty, respect, integrity, right? That's what protects our gift, not money.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
Definitely.
Absolutely. And then going back to the question that I asked earlier, my point of view, or what I would share to that person if they were to come to me with that situation, is don't be afraid to invest in yourself.
Mm.
There you go. There you go.
And I agree with everything that the La Villa Project said, Manny and Tim, but also investment. And when I'm speaking from experience, because when I realized when I was young as a teenager that acting was my passion, I understood that now I have to invest in acting classes. I have to invest in networking. I have to interact with people that are in that lane. Or if I don't have the funds, find a way to find the funds, find sponsors, find individuals who are like-minded. There's projects that you can collaborate on that are that they don't charge because they see the vision, right? So there's
Right.
different ways, but you have to invest in yourself, whether that be time,
100%.
money, especially time, research. Go on Google. If you have your phone, pull up your phone. Go on Google, Yahoo, whatever it is that you use to search. Trust me, you're going to find what you're looking for. But
Absolutely.
investing in yourself is key for you to find that purpose. You already have the warm and fuzzies of something that you like, that you're passionate about. So extend that passion. What are you going to do now? How are you going to close that gap to make sure that you are in successful in what you're doing?
Right.
Right.
Yes, because we are definitely 100% independent. And it is hard. And it feels, I would say, we want to get to the point where it's successful and it's bringing in tons of money. Everybody wants that. But the fact that we do this, knowing that it's no guarantee in your return.
Right.
And then when things turn out right, it just makes it even better. Don't be scared to be broke. Don't be scared to, spend your money on yourself, because when you don't owe nobody anything and it comes back full circle, you're going to be way more happy with the results than if you win and now you got to divvy everything back out because, you took money from the wrong places.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Right. The point is, when you invest in yourself, on whether it be acting or music or
Your
book
gift.
author,
Your
your
gift.
gift. Right, exactly, your gift. I guarantee that you're going to see that return a lot quicker.
Yeah.
I agree. Definitely agree.
This has been an awesome conversation. We can be here all night. I can't believe we're almost at time. Gosh, I feel like it always goes by like this.
It's a great show, man. It's a great show.
I'm definitely glad y'all made it, man. I'm definitely glad y'all made it.
Me too. So before we close, any last minute words that you all want to share with the audience, how they can find you, so some social media, etc.
Go ahead.
Yeah, you can pull me up on YouTube under T Givens. Any of my videos that you see, more than likely, he's in most of them. Marcus is in most of them. So if you pull me up, you're gonna see them too. That's just the way we work, like that. On IG, I am T Givens 904, and Facebook, I'm T Givens, and that's TEE Givens. You can find me on Facebook.
Instagram, Tony_Red 904. That red has 2 D's in it. I ain't gonna go into that. I used to do a little thing with, but yeah, Tony Red 904. Make sure the red has 2 D's. You can Google it and it'll pull up anything about me.
That's what's up.
Good
That's
stuff.
definitely what's up. I'm glad y'all made it out, man.
Definitely,
Yeah.
man.
Man, I love learning about, your passion. It's one thing about a product, but when you can learn the story behind the person who created the product,
Right.
it carries so much more weight. We had a young lady last week, and I just gained so much more respect for what she does because we know the story behind her product. So, man, I just want to encourage you guys to keep moving forward, man, because there's people in our generation that need your message. Period.
Yeah, absolutely.
We only got a little crumb of it too. I thought y'all were gonna ask the hard hitting questions. I'm ready to spill the beans.
We'll definitely have to do a part 2 there and get some hard questions for you.
Let's do a part 2 for sure.
Actually, yeah, that way we can get Marcus on and and definitely have him, tell his story. Yeah.
Manny, remind the viewers how they can reach you.
IG and Facebook, Author Manny Morales, authormanmorales.com for my website, my book, or DM me for a signed copy. I also have scented candles. So you could actually Google me. I Googled myself the other day and I was surprised. So,
okay. Tim, remind people how they can find you.
Yeah, talkmantalk.com is my website. And as Manny said, you can just type in, go to Google and type in Talkman Talk, no spaces, and hit the button, and you'll see me. All of my contact information is there. And I certainly welcome the opportunity to work with anybody who is, looking to discover their purpose.
Wonderful. And me, Yessie Rodriguez. You can Google me. I'm also Googleable. Yessie Rodriguez. They spell it there. You can find me on my website, yessierodriguez.com, IG, YessieRod1, Facebook, Yessie Rodriguez. Yeah, you can find us. Also, if you want to be on the show, if you have a hot topic, you want to promote your
Yeah.
business, music, book, etc., candles, we're open.
Yeah.
Email
Hey,
oyandiatv@gmail.com. It is
Right.
right here at the bottom. I have it floating at the bottom for you. oyandiatv@gmail.com. We are a bilingual lifestyle show. The goal is to purposely motivate and enlighten the community, one viewer at a time. So hopefully,
Hello, somebody.
yes,
That's
hopefully
right.
you're enlightened. Thank you all for watching. God bless.
Yeah.